everyone, welcome to Lady in the Red Bandana. I'm here today with Nikki. She owns Rowells Rolls along with her husband in Rothwell. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, Mish, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So I'm just going to hand it over to you just to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Nikki and I'm 30. Me and my husband have owned Rowells Rolls for about 8 years now. That's it, really.
Cool. So how did you get started? What made you want to do what you're doing now?
So to be honest, it was actually by chance because Phil had been made redundant, like no fault of his own, absolutely fine. But obviously, back in the day, pubs were shutting down left, right, and centre. It was all going for more like pizzas and burgers and stuff like that. So he wanted to set up something by himself. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And I was just flicking through Rightmove because that's what you do, don't you? When you're chilling out, you just flick through your phone. And I thought, oh, let's have a little look at some properties. Let's see what's about. And then this place in Rothwell showed up, and I showed Phil, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure. It's quite a small town. All the rest of it. It's not, because obviously we were living in Harbour at the time. And I just said, let's just go and have a look at it, see what it's about. We had a look at it, and we just looked at the pros and the cons of stuff, like whereabouts it was situated. It was near a school, it was by a bus stop, it was by a bank and everything like that. And I just said to him, let's just give it a go. What's the harm in not giving it a go? Let's just see. And that was it, really. We just thought, let's do it. So he started it. So we opened up in, I think it was October 2013. We'd just come back from our honeymoon from Mexico, had the sign put up and everything like that. And at the start, Phil thought, oh, it's such a small shop, let's just run it me. And I was like, you need staff, Phil. You need people. He was like, no, we'll be okay. So on the opening day, I couldn't get time off work because I was working as a full-time carer. And my dad helped him out on the day, and we had a Saturday girl come in. And it was only for a child, was really young. And she ended up working. She had no experience whatsoever. And Phil was like, there's the coffee machine, there's the till, go for it. Because it was just absolutely crazy. So yeah, that's how it started.
Sometimes though, don't you think that's the best thing? So you just have to go into it and just go full hog into it, see what happens, and then the result is obviously good because you carried on.
Yeah, and that's what we keep on saying. Not many businesses, like small businesses, last a year, 3 years, 5 years, and this is us, touch wood, in our 8th year, and we've got to be doing something right.
It's probably all amazing.
Yeah.
I know. From personal experience, I know. But
it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea and stuff like that. We've tried all sorts. We've tried doing hot meals. For instance, like a shepherd's pie, a cottage pie, macaroni. We tried doing roast dinners on Sunday when we first opened, and people just weren't for having it. They wanted to come in. They wanted a breakfast. So, you got to do what you got to do.
And you do make the best breakfast, I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With anyone who wanted to go, let's say there's somebody who wants to go into the sort of industry that you're in right now. So you've gone from caring to now owning a cafe, which is quite a different job. It's quite a big jump from one sort of industry to the other. What would you advise somebody who wanted to do that, who wanted to do what you're doing right now?
You know what? Just take that leap. Just go for it. If you've got this vision in your head, just go for it, because you might not get that chance again to do it. So obviously I was in caring for quite a while actually, but before that I was with I used to work with Phil as a commie chef. So I've had a little bit of catering background. My mum and dad are both catering as well. And obviously Phil, he's been a chef ever since, he left school. So it was one of them things. I didn't want to give up caring because that was my passion. I started off as with Care Watch doing home care. And then I just decided that I wanted to go into like a home, like residential and everything like that. And luckily enough, just after we got the shop, I managed to go part-time at a care home in Braybrook, and it was like amazing because I could work at the shop as well. But then it was just getting too much, I'd work night shifts there and work at the shop. I was exhausted, but it was the only way that we could keep going. We had to fling absolutely every single ounce of energy to get this business up and running and carrying on. So, it is hard work, but if you've got this dream, then go for it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes if you're almost half-assed about it, like, oh yeah, I want to do it, but I'm not really sure, it doesn't really happen. That goes with anything in life, I think. So yeah. The fact that you just went, let's just do it, and you did work and work and work. You weren't just working there, you're working caring as well. I mean, that's mad, but you do it, don't you, to get to the result that you want, which is now you're a successful business. So obviously, journey-wise, what would you consider would like be the best part of what you're doing now?
I tell you what, Mish, I've always been quite awkward. I am quite an awkward person, but I've really been quite awkward with people. So I can remember, like, back in the day working in the pub, going for this interview, they said, do you want to waitress? I was like, no. I'm too awkward around people, and I'd be scared that I'd mess up. So I was like, I want to be in the kitchen out the way. So having this shop and obviously the phone ringing and people, it's not like I don't want to. I don't know, but it's kind of pushed my confidence where I'm in this situation where I have to do it. So for me, it's just like a growth in myself, because I can remember first working at the shop and the phone ringing. I'm like, no, I'm not answering it, because I actually mess up on the phone like quite a lot. Like I can remember at the beginning, one of the companies around the corner, it rang up and they were like, can I have an order, please? And I was like, yes, no problem. Where for? And me, because I'm just awful on the phone and just want to get off, they were like, for Fred. But I heard it as Thetford. So I was like, Thetford? I was like, let me just pass you over to Phil. So Phil took the phone call. He was like, where did you want this order for? They were like, Betfred. But Phil heard Betfred as well. They were like, whereabouts? And they were like, on the high street, just around the corner. And he was like, oh, Betfred. And it was just so awkward. And that's why I hate it, because I'm scared to like make mistakes. I know everybody makes mistakes, but it's just, yeah, I just don't like it.
But you've got over that though, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do get a little bit flustered, because I don't know about you, but wearing these face masks at the minute, it seems to affect my ears. So I'm like, I just can't hear with it.
It's when it takes one of your senses away, it's like the other one doesn't work as well. It's really strange, isn't it? So coming on to that, what sort of thing have you had to change with the shop now? So obviously things have changed. You've had to shut, you've had to open, you've had to shut, you've had to open. So what have you done? What are you doing now, and what have you done previously to make sure you can keep going?
The first lockdown, obviously, when it first announced, we decided to close because obviously we thought, let's do our part. Although we could have done takeaway, lots of people were saying, just do takeaway, just do takeaway. We wanted to do our part to not like getting anybody coming into the shop, mixing people or anything like that. And then I think we opened probably a month and a half in the first lockdown and went to takeaway. And then we just kept going with takeaway. We obviously had to get a new screen put up at the front. What else did we have? We had all the visors, and then we had the face masks, because obviously it all changed, didn't it? People were saying, you can wear a visor, and then people were saying, oh no, you can wear a face mask. So at one point we had a visor on, and then the next day we'd have a face mask on, and then the following day we'd have both on, and we were like, we don't know what we're doing. But we thought, no, every area's covered. We had to get like loads of stuff done at the shop. Sorry, trying to think. We were lucky enough that we actually furloughed the girls as well, because we just weren't sure how it was going to go, how busy we were going to be, because obviously takeaway, we were a bit like, it's not the same as sitting indoors. But thankfully we had that amazing weather, didn't we? So loads of people were having like afternoon teas and coming in for sandwiches and stuff like that, so that was really good. So we stayed open, and then we managed to have, I think it was about 2 weeks where people could sit in, couldn't they? I think it was like November, December, that kind of time.
Yeah.
So we had to limit, we had to limit the tables, because obviously you've seen it, we're really small in there. So we did used to have 6 tables, then we had to go down to 3 tables. And back when we used to have 6, we used to be able to carry tables and chairs around the cafe and like swap stuff about so that people could actually come in. But going down to 3 tables, we had to make the decision whether we had just all 2s or all 4s or a 6. So I think we had a 2, a 4 and a 6 table. You know, on a Friday or a Saturday, you get people like couples coming in, and you'd have like 4 2s walk in, and you'd be able to sit 3 of them 2s, but you weren't allowed to sit that extra 2, because it was that table was set up. You couldn't move it, you couldn't let people mix. So it was a nightmare. And then we usually close the first week of January just to give the girls a break, because Christmas for us is absolutely manic. So we shut the first week of January. We were supposed to open on the 12th of January, and then the numbers went really high. And we both just looked at each other. We were about to announce it on Facebook, and I was like, it's not that I didn't feel safe opening up the shop, because we feel like we are safe working in the shop. I mean, it's only me and Phil and one other girl that works there. So there's like hardly any limited contact. We do try and socially distance as best as we can. We've all got masks on, got hand sanitizer everywhere. You name it, we've probably done it. But the numbers were just so high, and I just said to Phil, I don't think we should do it. So we made that decision, and we stayed shut for a little bit longer. And it was just for the fact that everybody was saying, you know, stay home, don't go out, you know, do everything for the NHS, which is great. And then we were going to say, come in, collect, and we just didn't feel comfortable. So we thought, no, let's just shut, stick it out a little bit longer. And then the numbers started to finally drop, and then we thought, right, let's just open again, we've got to do it. So me and Phil have been working Tuesday to Thursday, just me and him. And then we've got a girl that comes in on a Friday, and then a girl that comes in on a Saturday. So we've tried so hard.
You do it because you love it as well, because there's so many people that have obviously been shut in left, right and centre, and that's not because they don't love it. That's just because it's really hard, not just physically but mentally and everything as well. It is exhausting. So with that, talking about being exhausted and that sort of thing, what sort of thing do you think helped you learn a lot? So what were your low points that you thought, right, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, or this is really difficult? What sort of happened to make you now think, right, I've learned from that?
I tell you what, it's not just been through COVID, but ever since we've got the shop, it's just, we've had numerous water leaks, like you name it, we've had it. It's just been a disaster. I mean, one of the walls now is still it's still damp. It doesn't matter how much damp seal you have on it. It doesn't matter like how much time you air it. It's come from upstairs, and obviously it's been going for quite a while. This was at the very beginning, and we just can't seem to like patch it up. So we've had water leaks, we've had blocked toilets on a bank holiday weekend. You know, you get somebody to come out, they like flush it out and then they say, right, I'm going. And you think, well, what are you going to do with all of this waste? And they're like, well, you'll have to clean it up. And you think, are you serious? It's like toilets. So we've had water leaks, we've had like holes in floors, everything breaking. Like you physically couldn't write it. You know, when you think, what have we done? Seriously, what next? So I mean, I think it was like the first year. I think we should have called it like the aquarium because there was that much water coming, and you just say, oh, and yeah.
So what made you, right, so let's go back to that question. What made you think, no, we're going to learn from this and we're going to carry on? What gave you that effort to do it?
Do you know what? I think it's just because when we were there, we just used to laugh because it was funny, because you think, what else could possibly go wrong in this place? And it was a bit like Fawlty Towers. Like
it just about to say that.
Yeah, and you think to yourself, okay, so what's next? What's next? It was like things come in threes, and I think it came around to like the fourth lot of threes, and you think, surely that's it. And we just loved it. I mean, we still love it now. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship. At times, it's really testing, you know. And I think I don't really know. We just kept going, and I don't know why we kept going, but we did.
It's because you love it. And that's what I mean. Like, you want to be able to give these amazing breakfasts out for people. You want to get that reaction back from people. Phil obviously loves his chefing, and you know, it's you can see it through your food as well, and you can see it through when we are eventually allowed to come and sit in there and everything else. You can see that you love it as well. And the girls that are working there as well, you can tell that they all really love it.
Literally could not have survived COVID without them. You know, they've always been at the end of the phone. They understand everything that's going on, and they understand our situation. I mean, we are only small, so that's really about it. But yeah, they're really good.
So you've just gone through a load of stuff that's happened that you've thought, why are we still open? Why are we doing this? What do you do to look after yourself then?
Do you know what? I have just recently, I mean, I used to be, I'm not a girly girl whatsoever. I'm really not.
I know.
So, it's awful to say.
It's not,
you know,
it's not at all.
But before COVID, I used to get my hair done, and I used to go and get my eyebrows done, and it was just have some time out just to relax. And I vent so much to my mum and dad and my sister. And I think that is my massive self-care, is my family unit. Those, like, my mum and dad are just always at the end of the phone, whether it me like having a laugh with them or talking about what an awful day or what busy day we've had or just any dramas. I just vent out to them, and that is my self-care. Without that family unit and that support, I would struggle drastically.
I think
really,
we've all sort of started to feel really grateful for that support network that we all have now. No matter who it is, whether it's one person, whether it's a whole bunch of people, I think this whole time has made us feel so grateful. So with your job as well now, do you feel empowered by your knowledge? Do you feel that you could speak to somebody about opening their own place and what they want to do, just like you've told me, you know, this, just go for it, just do it? Do you feel like you can really give somebody advice about the knowledge that you have about it?
I mean, I personally, I don't feel like I can. I think Phil could. it was Phil's dream to open up something, and obviously he's my husband and I support him through whatever, and just he wanted to take that leap, and I was there every step of the way, and I'll continue to be there every step of the way. So I just think, you know what, do it. If you've got this dream and you want to do something, whether it's a cafe, whether it's a restaurant, just do it.
It's like a different experience to going into a restaurant or any other cafe. It's like, it feels like you're going into somebody's front room. and having breakfast in their front room because we're having a chat with you. So you do bring a very different experience to the word cafe, let's just say. It's just, you know, you are very personal, you know, and you must know your customers as well. Some of them
so
it is really nice that you get to do that, and you know that looking after yourself is important within that, so it's nice that you've got that support network too. So there's a question that I haven't told you I'm going to ask you. So what would you like to do, what would you love to do more of each day?
Sleep.
You could, if you had all the time. You know what, so many people have said that. I've just said sleep. It is important.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, people think, oh, you're only open 9 till 1. You've got loads of time. You've got the afternoon off, and then you think you don't know what happens. You know, sometimes I'll be up like baking till like 10 o'clock at night, or like answering messages on Facebook, and you think if I don't answer it, they might go somewhere else. So it's just sleeping. I just love sleep.
Do you find that with, obviously when you were closed, were you sleeping more?
Our routine got knocked completely. So Phil is like a night owl. I'm none. I'm just like a permanently exhausted pigeon.
I love that.
Sorry.
Oh my god, that's so funny. No, it's good. I love it. I'm definitely including this. Don't you worry.
He used to go to sleep. Sorry. So he used to go to sleep at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then like get up probably about an hour later than me. But because all we were doing was like doing Joe Wicks, we were going out for a walk, we were eating. Like, I mean, we didn't have to go shopping every day because we didn't need to get anything when we were shut. So I was staying up with him, and then it'd be like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning that you go to bed, and then I'd wake up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. And you think, here we go again. So my routine just got knocked completely because I'm usually in bed like before 11 o'clock. That is like my cut-off time is 11. If I'm not in bed by 11, then there's going to be trouble.
Oh, it's been so nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Talk. That is that. I know it's completely different, but talk. If either it's like your highs or your lows, just talk to somebody. Get it out, because if I keep it in, it will just be a volcano. So definitely talking to people. Drink plenty of fluid, because fluids is good. Water, squash, whatever. Keep doing it. And the third one is just get some sleep.
We have been the lady in the red bandana, and we want you to be empowered to believe in yourself.